What up gamers, I'm Sir Mav and welcome back to another Anthem video. Today I wanted to provide my feedback on what I want to see for the future of Anthem. Obviously I've been a huge fan from the beginning even with the few bugs I've run into, but I believe this game has a grander future ahead of it. But no game gets ahead without players' feedback and criticisms of current systems within the game, so I wanted to provide my own feedback in the form of this video. I also want your input as well. Let's make this a constructive discussion for the entire dev team on what you want to see come to the game. Provide your input and thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know what you think of my ideas and what you would change. And as always, if you enjoy this video, give it a like and tap fire subscribe for more content on Anthem. So in regards to my feedback, I will be steering away from the lack of content. I believe the devs have laid out a foundation for the future content and it will come in due time. What I want to focus on is some UI changes I feel could help the team dynamic in missions and some mechanics I would like to see added into the game that will enhance players' experiences in building loadouts and make gear more viable through grinding stages of in-game. Again, provide your thoughts down below. I love discussion and I respond back to anyone who provokes a conversation within my videos. So first up, let's cover some of what I would call quality of life improvements to the UI. One thing that you should know by now is that Anthem is a co-op player experience. To grind the best loot, you need to group up and work as a team to take on the harder content. So one change I would like to see added in to the HUD of Anthem is a simple UI change to the widgets to the top left hand side of the screen. I'm sure I've said it before in some other video or podcast, but it would be great to see an ultimate meter for our teammates below our squad's shield and armor bar. This would allow teams to chain combos without the need of communication via VoIP or any sort of chat, giving a team dynamic that can boost DPS on boss targets or set up other teammates to combo off their ultimate abilities. Another add-on I would like to see in addition to the ultimate meter is the ability combinations that our teammates are running with an option in the settings to turn this on and off. I know that everyone may not want this much clutter within their HUD, but I feel it could still be a viable option as you see an example of how it could work on the screen I'm showing you right now. I think this would provide more of a team dynamic and allow for squads to better understand their team dynamic going into any mission. Of course, you would have to learn the ability icons and exactly what they do, but I think this would be a step in the right direction. Next up, I want to speak upon some of the mechanics that could be added into the game that specifically help us in min-maxing our builds, as I think this is where a lot of the controversy is on loot right now. Currently within the game, loot is indeed dropping at a higher rate than before, especially on Grandmaster 2 and 3 difficulty tiers. The issue lies in the probability of players acquiring the inscriptions they need for specific builds that they are striving for in Anthem. Now we should all know by now there are ways to get a guaranteed masterwork in Anthem, so let's break down the math real quick and the assumption that you'll get at least one per run. For one javelin we have 11 slots to fill, right? 2 weapons, 2 gear abilities, 1 support, and 6 component slots for just one specific javelin. Let's say you're a ranger and you're looking for that one masterwork ability you want for your build. Doesn't matter what the ability is, but you know you want this one specifically. Currently there is a total of 10 abilities each javelin can acquire, which means the odds of getting that one ability you are looking for is a 1 out of 10 chance. Fairly decent odds, but the pool of loot for masterworks is not just abilities alone. You have to include all the weapons that could potentially drop, which equals up to a total of 30, so now your odds have increased from 1 out of 10 to 1 in 40 in the odds you acquire the ability you're looking for. That's not even including the 10 ranger components you could potentially acquire, which brings the odds further up again to 1 out of 50. 1 in 56 if you add the universal components that were placed in the last patch. You see where I'm going here with this, right? The odds are widely stacked against you that you're going to receive that specific item for that specific build with those specific inscriptions you're looking for. I didn't even add in the odds of you getting inscriptions you want for that specific ability either, or the off chance that you acquire other masterworks specific to other javelins. Now, I'm not stating this to downgrade the Anthem loot game in any way. I'm merely pointing it out that we need other mechanics in play to provide us with an ample opportunity to acquire the proper gear for builds we want to run or experiment with. That's part of the fun in these types of looter shooter titles, right? The devs talked about us wanting to feel like superheroes. Let us build that ultimate superhero in our own way. So here are some mechanics I think should be implemented into the game to allow for this. I would like to see some sort of infusion system come into the game. Now, I'm not talking about what the devs discussed last year. If you didn't know, infusions are what the devs called inscriptions before they were finalized as inscriptions in the game. I'm talking more on the basis of an inheritance system for our gear. Say the odds were in your favor and you acquired a masterwork assault rifle with god roll inscriptions. Let's make it to where if we get a higher level legendary assault rifle, we can infuse it with our masterwork assault rifle with god roll inscriptions. This is of course also assuming that this legendary assault rifle has useless inscriptions. Let's also up it a notch by giving us a choice of whether we want these inscriptions on one assault rifle or the other if these two assault rifles are indeed two different models. This would help in the case that you acquire a legendary rifle with the property you want, but you have amazing rolls on the other masterwork rifle. Now again, I'm not a developer, so I have no idea of the technical roadblocks they could run into with this added mechanic, but if they could make it happen, it would be a great feature into acquiring the gear you want and place the odds more in your favor. Another added mechanic that would help is allowing us the ability to re-roll at least one inscription on a piece of gear at the cost of materials. Say you received an assault rifle with 2 damage rolls and reload time, but it has this ammo roll you just don't have a need for and you're trying to roll for additional survivability, so you want to roll either shield or armor. Allow us the option to do this. Also within this feature, I would say that we are only able to roll through the inscriptions within its subjective tiered class. If you didn't know, inscriptions roll at 3 different tier levels: minor, major, and epic. The chart on the screen will help signify what they roll at and on what gear. So with both of these suggestions combined, this would allow you to infuse a weapon or a piece of gear to a legendary level, and then once at that level you can re-roll the inscription at an epic or major level. And of course, once you re-roll an inscription, you can only re-roll that one inscription, but make it an unlimited amount of times, at the cost of materials of course, locking the other inscriptions in place on that piece of gear. So what are your thoughts on these ideas so far? Do you think this would allow you to properly min-max your javelins? Let me know down below. As far as inscriptions go, I would also want to remove luck altogether. Any inscription that is basically a must-have on your gear to help you gain better odds at loot drops is a meta and should be taken out of the game. It's currently capped at 90% anyway, so you could just implement loot drops at this 90% luck base and make some more incremental changes from there. Removing luck out of the pool of inscriptions also allows us to focus more on creating that primer build or DPS build within Anthem. Alright, so if you're still with me, we've covered a lot so far, but next I want to cover cosmetics. Currently I think the store is a tad bit lackluster in the amount of cosmetics we have available to us. If you remember back in mid-November, the dev team had a string of cosmetics that were shown from different pattern textures, emotes, and armor sets in their personalization livestream. My issue with the current system is that why limit the fan base to just a couple armor sets, emotes, or decals every few days? Gamers want to express their individuality through their javelins and show them off within the world to their friends and other players. Even if you make certain ones limited through content or seasons, which I believe is what they're doing with the new Elysium caches that are coming up in the next update, this will allow players more conversational pieces on where did you get that or how did you get that piece of armor. Cosmetics are also items that could fundamentally support the game for years to come. Take the popular free-to-play game Fortnite as an example. Yes, it's PvP, yes, it's free to play, but the following logic still stands to reason. Epic Game brings in, on average, roughly $300 million a month in revenue from battle passes and cosmetic sales through Fortnite. Through a survey conducted by Lind EDU, they found out on average 68% of those surveyed spent money on Fortnite. Of those who spent money on the game, on average they spent about $85 a year on the game. About $8 spent on emotes, $11 spent on harvesting tools, $15 on gliders, and $50 spent on outfits and characters. Now what am I getting at here? People will spend money to look the way they want in a game, especially when it comes to amazing cosmetics. We already know what the Anthem art team is capable of, so why not capitalize on it? Here's what I don't want to happen, and I'm speaking to this from both a business perspective and as a gamer who wants to see more cosmetics in the game. I don't want Anthem to miss out on the opportunity to gain capital income for future investments of content and other items due to the lack of cosmetics or funding within this game. Now, not dogging down on the DICE team as they have a great group of devs as well, but Battlefield 5, another EA title, has had a similar issue, and I think they need to adopt the same mentality. Battlefield has honestly had some lackluster cosmetics, and I see it as a missed opportunity on vehicle customization that they made as a main selling point before the game launched. Hell, if you must know, my top video right now is how to unlock the Tiger tank skin in Battlefield 5. Why? Because in all honesty, it's the best looking vehicle skin in the entire game. The best looking character cosmetics are earned through completing tasks and not even through earning coin or purchasing them. Okay, I know that's a lot of spiel on another game to get to a point, but the point is the Anthem team needs to let loose the reins on cosmetics. I'm honestly not sure what's holding the team back from this, as they seem to have a great live stream when it was showcased back in November of last year. Maybe there are indeed not enough assets available to keep all featured items within the Forge after release. If that is the case though, organize a plan and make it so. Or have the cosmetics that are available separated into acts, just as other games would have them available through seasons. We know the art team for Anthem is amazing at creating cosmetics, emotes, finals, etc. Just look at the many few we saw during the personalization livestream. I say open the gates and expand upon this personalization. If you need a bigger team, I would tell Casey get this support in place and do so. Make a timeline of these releases that you want. In my decade of experience in retail, the design team would always lay out a calendar, what the theme was for that time of year, what they would design around, and then set the dates for asset drafts to be created, proofed, reworked, and eventually finalized. Thing is, this gaming world of Anthem reduces those barriers of the real world. There are so many avenues, designs, and creations the art team could implement within Anthem. If the team can make this happen in their game and give gamers accessibility to individualize their own javelins, this will provide more income to the game, thus allowing funding for more content and more support to the hardworking teams at the studio who create these assets. If Fortnite and the many other games that are now implementing this same strategy is any example of this, then the return on investment will be quite favorable. So, on the matter of cosmetics, what are your thoughts? Would you spend money on cosmetics that provide you more opportunity to express your individuality or just look badass in the game? If you would spend money, how much would you think you would invest on a monthly basis? Let me know down in the comments below. Anyway, just wanted to get this out and provide some feedback to the dev team. I'm sure I'll have other thoughts along the way, but I think this is a good start for now. Personally, I still really enjoy playing this game and would love to see it succeed. I definitely see a bright future for Anthem, but I also think the team needs to capitalize on these opportunities and enhance the overall gameplay if they want to ensure Anthem's overall success. Great things don't always come at once, and I remain hopeful that the team at BioWare can make this happen. And that's it for today, gamers. Again, if you enjoyed the video, give it a like and tap fire subscribe for more on Anthem. Talk to you next time. This is Sir Mav, signing off.